Question, question 8. This is for you, Mr. Smith, and once again, you have 2 minutes, and this is reading verbatim. The entity that sets our statewide building codes, Building Code Council, is housed in the Department of Insurance. Key issues such as requiring sprinklers in all residential structures and higher standards for wind resistance in the coastal areas are 2 topics this panel will be dealing with under your watch should you be elected. What are your thoughts on these 2 issues, and are there other issues you feel the Building Code Council needs to address? Mr. Smith, 2 minutes.
Thank you. I do believe that we recognize that the Building Code Council of North Carolina is a unique entity, and that North Carolina was the first state to have a building code and has continuously been a leader among the states in that building code. I also think that we have to recognize that in North Carolina we have a number of municipalities who have actually gone beyond our state building code, and we recognize what they can do. I believe the Building Code Council ought to look seriously at a balance on the issue of residential sprinklers, but I don't believe that they ought to mandate it for all as has been proposed by some. I believe that as we look at the sprinkler issue, we have to weigh out the cost issue, and this issue has come up in multiple municipalities and multiple states around the country, and the fight is simply not really a fight. It is between 2 interesting parties. One that is interested in maintaining the cost of affordable housing, and the other is people who are rightly concerned about the safety of the people who live there. And I believe strongly that we need to advocate stronger safety standards. One of the great things in my mind that North Carolina has done is we have a high utilization of fire detectors in the state, and studies have shown time and time again that fire detectors actually reduce the number of fatalities from fire deaths. We ought to mandate that every residential rental property in the state of North Carolina have a smoke detector in it and have those avenues available to save lives so that we would avoid a death like we had on the coast this past summer. As it relates to the higher wind standards and other building improvements, I believe we have to adopt today ideas that will bring a greater standard, but we have to find that balance. Something that might work well on the actual coast is not something we ought to necessarily do inland because it may dramatically change the affordability of the cost of the residences that we've built in that area. Could you read the question again, John?
The entity that sets our statewide building codes, Building Code Council, is housed in the Department of Insurance. Key issues such as requiring sprinklers in all residential structures and higher standards for wind resistance in the coastal areas are 2 hot topics this panel will be dealing with under your watch should you be elected. What are your thoughts on these 2 issues, and are there other issues you feel the Building Code Council needs to address? 2 minutes.
Excellent question. I do have wish to clarify, the Building Code Council is not housed in the Department of Insurance. We provide staff for it. It is a standalone council, standalone executive branch council that exists. The governor appoints everybody on the Building Code Council. We just provide the engineering staff. We only do what the council tells us. So I want to make sure that correction is there. I agree with Mr. Smith. There needs to be a balance. There's been an imbalance on the Building Code Council, and we've been working with Governor Easley and others, also with Paul Wilms, the Home Builders Association, and also the firefighters and the folks who are promoting affordable housing to ensure that there is a greater balance. Experts on all sides have stated that for every $1 of safety prevention in our homes, we save $5 in costs paid out by insurance carriers for claims. So we must deal with prevention. Unlike what Mr. Smith said, the proposals are not requiring all homes to have residential sprinklers. You need to read what's proposed there, Mr. Smith. It is not requiring all homes to do this. There's been a measured process by the home builders and by the folks who promote affordable housing to try to strike a balance. Final point on this. Our firefighters in this state presented a video, dramatic video to the Building Code Council and to others that shows that smoke detectors and fire detectors will not save your life when you're talking about this issue. There's a vast difference in the response time between the smoke and fire detectors and the residential sprinklers. So for those fraction of the homes that are being recommended by various folks to have residential sprinklers, again, it's a small fraction of new homes, not retrofitting. It shows that you actually save lives with the residential sprinklers more so. And I encourage folks to check with their local fire marshal and local firefighters or the Department of Insurance, and we'll be happy to provide you that dramatic video that shows that if you're relying upon smoke detectors and fire detectors, versus sprinklers, there, hands down, there is no comparison.
1 minute.
The statistics are clear. Ever since the advent and the greater installation of fire detectors in this country, and particularly in North Carolina, the number of fire-related deaths has dropped dramatically. But I agree, if there's a choice between a smoke detector and a sprinkler system, undoubtedly a sprinkler system is going to save more lives. I do believe that Wayne is misspoken in the sense that the firefighters have actually advocated, according to their website and according to their proposal, which they provided to me, a comprehensive plan to require all new construction of residential building in North Carolina to have sprinklers. I do believe that it needs to be in all multifamily facilities, and that it doesn't even need to be an option anymore.
Have you misspoken? 1 minute.
No, there's also a square footage requirement. It's on new homes, so there's other things that are in there. I'll be happy to provide the public as the Assistant State Fire Marshal. I stand by what I've stated, and I hope Mr. Smith will read more material that's sent to him.